This video is brought to you by PlayTracker, the app that tracks your cross-platform game library, achievements, stats, and more. Stick around to the end to find out more. Normally, I try to give smaller development teams the benefit of the doubt. I find that many try to punch above their weight to varying results. Unfortunately, there are those that do take advantage of the goodwill so many provide the indie scene. And the developer of the recently released Code Violet seems to have adopted a pattern over the last few years that I think is worth calling attention to. I remember covering the first release from TeamKill Media, Kings of Lorne, back around 2018. The team was showcasing some pretty cool looking assets on social media that caught my attention for their use of Unreal Engine 4 and their flashy trailers. At the time, I remember thinking this was a small team looking to exceed expectations and creating an intriguing dark fantasy game. Unfortunately, when Kings of Lorne finally released, it was heavily panned for being half-baked, buggy, and not really what was advertised. Looking back at those trailers now, not exactly sure what I saw considering you can hardly see anything. When Quantum Error was announced by the same developer, most people had never heard of Kings of Lorne or TeamKill Media before. I was personally shocked to see a new, even more ambitious game from this small team. There were red flags all over it for me, but these days, you can never really be sure how these sorts of projects will turn out. The tools currently available do allow small teams, and even individuals for that matter, to make really impressive games. Since PlayStation was giving Quantum Error the time of day with trailers posted directly to their channel, and the game was even set to be a PlayStation exclusive, I thought maybe TeamKill had gotten backing from Sony in some form. Hell, the game was even priced at a full $60. Quantum Error, again, released to negative reviews across the board for being a broken, buggy mess and not at all representative of what the trailers had shown. In 2024, the studio quietly dropped another game called Sun and Bone for $30, and the reviews were very similar in nature yet again. And then here we are today with Code Violet, a $50 game with a prominent spot on PlayStation's new releases that TeamKill Media was marketing as a true spiritual successor to Capcom's Dino Crisis. And as for the reviews, well, here's the first 10 seconds of IGN's assessment.
Let me level with you folks right up top. Code Violet is a bad game.
Quantum Error, Sun and Bone, and Code Violet were all released in the span of 3 years, for the record. And here's the real kicker. If you were to check the developer's website, the studio has 5, yes, 5, more games currently in development as I write this, or so they claim. And better yet, there are 5 additional projects planned beyond those 5. Until now, TeamKill Media has gotten away with releasing fancy-looking trailers and using the press to drum up hype for their projects, such as how they tied Quantum Error to the launch of the PlayStation 5, and billed Code Violet as a spiritual successor to a successful franchise. But the internet seems to have caught on to the pattern following their 4th release game. Back in January of 2025, the studio made the claim that they wouldn't release Code Violet on PC because they didn't want people to make sexual mods for the game. I can imagine why. In truth, I do think there's a more nefarious reason for this decision. Steam reviews would have utterly buried Quantum Error had that been released on PC, and the same would have happened for Code Violet. Both Kings of Lorne and Sun and Bone released on Steam, but those had a lot less attention and hype surrounding them. PlayStation's refund policy is notoriously strict, and people who don't know any better, as they didn't with Quantum Error, are stuck with games if they buy them. Once you download a game on PlayStation, you can no longer refund it in most cases. For the record, Quantum Error was planned for Xbox and Windows, but never made it to either platform after TeamKill made the claim that the game was in an unacceptable state on the Xbox Series S because of the hardware, and then never talked about it again. I don't think it's worth discussing the studio's social media usage in depth, but let's just say it's not great. They tend to get involved in whatever controversy is popular at the time, whether it's console wars, or a bunch of internet losers whining about how hot digital video game characters need to be. Hence, one of the studio's big marketing beats for Code Violet was being a bit cheeky. This is probably a bigger conversation for another video, but the fact that companies like Sony and Nvidia keep promoting products like The Day Before, Quantum Error, and Code Violet, and face zero consequences for doing so when the games are released as broken messes, or in The Day Before's case, not at all what was advertised, is not great. To be openly endorsing those projects on their channel speaks to the complete lack of quality control by these companies. You would think that they would get private looks at these games to make sure they're real products that accurately depict what they're promoting before putting their brand behind it, but that very often doesn't seem to be the case. In 2026, I think it's important that both platforms, and the press for that matter, start better vetting the games they're providing promotion and coverage for, considering the now common use of Gen AI, the constant stream of asset flips across all platforms, and the deceitful marketing tactics that have been around for years. Lest we forget the concept trailers at E3 would pose as real, playable games. I have no problem with TeamKill Media trying to punch above their weight. The problem is that the studio isn't being honest with what they're able to achieve, and they're advertising their games as high-quality, polished experiences when they're really amateurish, even bad, games with a shiny coat of paint on them. People may still enjoy these games, and that's fine. There are even a few people out there who enjoyed Mind's Eye. That said, it's hard to describe TeamKill's marketing as anything but deceitful at this point, with the team having released 4 games, all with the same very noticeable problems attached. There's a difference between a game missing the mark and a studio building out marketing assets and trailers to showcase a game that really doesn't exist. And by keeping the game off platforms that have reasonable refund options, well, I think at that point, the game is pretty clear.
This video is brought to you by Play Tracker, the app that tracks your cross-platform game library, achievements, stats, and more. Play Tracker works by connecting to various gaming platforms and combining all your data in one place. It offers a unified cross-platform social experience, advanced game library labeling and sorting, fun challenges and progression system, and stats about games and the types of players who enjoy them. Play Tracker is for all kinds of gamers, like this one.
My top tags across all platforms are dating sim and psychological horror. I'm sure that says nothing about me as a person.
And this one.
My mate Captain Toe Jam 96 and I have a lot of games in common. We should tackle some challenges together.
And even me! I'm better than all of you. Unite your gaming multiverse with Play Tracker today and join the official Second Wind Guild to unlock exclusive profile decorations by playing games recommended by us, a group of ostensibly professional gamers with allegedly great taste in games. Ooh.